All right, so here we go. Last page. True or false?
Okay.
It's okay to use someone's music if you don't use more than 30 seconds.
Yes.
Or if you make at least 3 significant changes to the melody
True.
or the words.
True.
True.
Answer is
Case by case.
absolutely case. It totally depends.
True.
There is no blanket.
True.
That is up.
No certainties involved.
Yeah,
Exactly. 28 seconds, I'm good. 28 seconds, no problem.
Yeah.
That is not a rule. So
29.99.
don't automatically think because I was only 29 seconds, I am okay.
Wait, what page are you on?
I'm
Last
on
page.
the last one, true or false. The third
True or
one.
false,
I know
bro.
true or false.
This one.
I was.
The half page one.
Give me one.
What came to mind for me is Weird Al. Weird
Yeah.
Al does that.
When he does all the parodies and stuff like that?
He does that a lot. So I just think for the most part, in his case, it'd be true.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
No. So I don't know exactly how Weird Al does it, but I think I think it's to some degree it's parody, and I think to some degree he might pay actually a little bit of royalty for using the musical composition, and that is just a fixed fee if he's getting a mechanical license, which we can talk about in a second here, and that's only 9 cents per reproduction. So that just depends, or I'm not. Yeah, so that's unique. Weird Al's his own creature.
Did you write that? Test is whether a work is.
Whether a work is substantially similar.
Substantially similar.
I know, but
What about it?
am I reading it right?
Yeah, you read it.
Yeah.
So what's test is? Test is whether.
No, the test for whether or not you're infringing. The test for whether or not.
See,
case by case.
All right, that threw me off. That really just threw me off. Because I didn't see the.
Yeah. I just went straight to test.
I know test is whether. I'm like, hold on. Test. Did
Leafy.
you learn this? Did you learn this?
Leafy.
Yet? Huh?
Leafy.
All
right, we ready? Next
Carry
one. You don't need to register your work with the Copyright Office if you mail yourself a copy.
Yes.
Who was talking about? You talking about all the emailing yourself?
Yeah.
Cute.
Yes.
Right. You're talking about sending it yourself in an unsealed envelope.
Deployment.
Obviously, it becomes, there's certain things that you can do if you register it. Like, you can sue people in federal court if you've actually registered for it, right? You can't do that if you just mail it to yourself. But really, ultimately, it becomes, like we've been talking about this whole time, a game of proof, right? So obviously, to some degree, that will help a little bit, but it doesn't give you the same protection that it would if you actually registered it. The other thing there is, like we said before, damages. If someone knows that it's yours and they keep doing it, you're likely to get a whole lot more money from a court because they're intentionally doing it because they know because they've been made aware because you've registered the copyright, right? So basically, it's okay, but it's really not a whole lot different than if you just did it, period. Except for you walk in with your sealed envelope and be like, hey, check it out, Josh.
Can you get phrases like you can get phrases like copywritten?
You can get absolutely. What they try to do that stuff all the time. Who was trying to come up with crazy phrases? They do that stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna get hashtag.
Let's get ready to rumble was copyrighted.
There you go. Exactly.
I'm gonna get hashtag copywritten. Every time somebody posts it.
But you can't. If it's like you can't get hello copyright. You know what I'm
It
saying?
has to be like the way rumble is
Get
like
high.
the way they say it.
Every time somebody uses the A.
Genius.
So
You owe me money.
No one's
You
ever
owe
thought
me
of
money.
It needs to be original. That ain't so original.
So when they say the likes of, is that how can I say? Not the likes of the copyright, but the likes of someone.
The likeness of someone.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah. So there's basically a law that says to take a picture of Kim Kardashian and make a T-shirt off of it and sell the T-shirts. Mm-hmm. Because that's her likeness. That's me making money off her and her likeness. Yeah. You get it?
But I thought at some point when you're a public figure, there's a...
Correct. But this is me just straight making money to make money, right? But if you're what you're thinking about is more along the lines of like if I want to say, you know, Kim Kardashian is corrupting our moral our moral being because she's so, you know, selfish and heinous or what have you. That becomes almost a matter of political speech, right? You're talking about something that involves the community.
In the movie, they have Obama talking in his speeches. I'm sure they don't have to pay him because he's a public figure, right?
Sure.
But they're selling that movie and they're using his likeness to promote whatever plot they are, but they don't have to pay him because he's a public figure, right?
Yeah. To some degree. Yeah. And I don't think he's going to come after him and do that sort of stuff. Yeah. And I think it's fair. But you know what happened was, do you remember when they created the poster, the Hope poster? It was like that blue and red and white. They actually, the artist that drew that based on a picture that a photographer took.
Of the Hope?
And the photographer sued the artist because he based it off his copyright from the picture, and the photographer won.
Wait, so what happens if people...
Yeah, so it's not just like, oh, it's a public figure, it's okay.
That's why is that why it stopped manufacturing? Like, you stopped seeing Hope.
Yeah. You don't see so many.
Because he won, but
I don't know whatever happened ultimately. I mean,
ultimately,
the way that usually ends up happening is they just split the money. You know what I mean? They just it means you just get less.
So I just wanted to ask, like, how does how would Seth Green go about, you know?
Seth Green?
Yeah, like
you talking about the interview?
No. Robot
That's
Chicken.
right.
Robot Chicken. That's Seth Green.
What's
yeah.
that?
Robot Chicken. Nobody Robot Chicken.
It's on like Cartoon Network or something.
Yeah,
Cartoon
on
Network.
Adult Swim.
Words.
Yeah,
like they
that's
use,
where it is. That's where it is.
Like all the they use all the likenesses of well-known characters, you know, and they make a parody of it.
Like South Park.
Yeah. So like, how do they go about?
Because it's parody.
It's parody.
Oh, they don't even got to, huh?
Yeah, there's usually a lot of things going on at once in these cases.
Absolutely.
So you could basically just make a song with somebody's stuff and then just be like, oh, it's a parody, and get away with it.
Well, if it is a parody,
But it's not a parody.
Yeah, there is no certainty.
it has to be.
It's not though. They don't
Google,
know that.
If you Google like South Park and infringement, you'll see all sorts of stuff come up where they try to go after South Park.
And they can't.
and no, for real. And the reason is because South Park has good lawyers.
And
you know what I mean? And they have a lot of money to spend defending them, you know, because it is such a successful product.
I know they.
But like
they
for
be ruining people
for like you and me and us, you know,
we
we get one group, you know, one lawyer coming after us. It's like
they'll probably end up suing us. Like we'll try to sue them, they'll end up suing us.
Yeah, and win
for
probably.
coming back, for going for
Counts
at
as
us.
suing, yeah.
Like, why are you coming at us? That's
Might as
$1,000.
all right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so although we've been
could buy
talking
me
about
lunch.
copyright, you know, and ownership and being able to stop people, there's also the idea of what's called fair use doctrine, which still allows you to use other people's copyright for certain what they call fair usage, right? And what they're trying to do here is balance the various interests, right? First Amendment, free speech, right? You don't want someone to be able to, you know, not be able to give politically important or you know, just something that's very important to be able to stop them because, oh, whoa, that's my copyright, you can't say that, right? So it's kind of balancing all these things. So with that in mind, the law does allow you to technically, quote unquote, violate someone else's copyright if it basically is important enough to do so. So,
This is important.
for example, you can violate someone's copyright for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research.
You know, I actually had to talk to my media my editor about that because it was like I wanted to do a documentary and I wanted to use like clips from like other things and I was talking to him like, can I make like a whole video with just using clips and stuff like that? And he's like basically you can make a whole like movie like explaining, you know what I'm saying, with a plot and everything with it, just using clips as long as you reference them or something. or something. I forgot what
Yeah,
he said.
not necessarily. Don't all think that just because I gave, I reference them or I put whoever, that it automatically thinks you can go ahead and use that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is this is really, really tricky. And if you see here, I say it's risky because this isn't necessarily a full-on protection. It's only a defense, right? So it's not like it's a sword. It's more like a shield. Only if someone's coming at you with, oh, you violated my copyright. And you're like, no, fair use. I was just trying to critique what it was that you were doing. Something like that. Go ahead.
Is an example of that teachers photocopying books and passing out to the students to read?
To some degree, yes, and to some degree, no.
My
So
teacher
certain
does,
things
yeah.
that what they'll look to, like the certain factors. So if you look there on the number 5, the V, commercial purpose, nature of the work, amount used, effect on the market, value effects of copyrighted work. So if your teacher is basically copywriting a whole book and you go to private school, probably not, you know what I mean? Because that is essentially stealing, right? They're getting, you pay for that education and they're taking all of that whole book, you're basically screwing whoever wrote that textbook. So that's not gonna fly. If on the other hand, you go to public school and they, copyrighted one, or they photocopied one page or something and it was strictly for educational purposes, then it becomes a whole different story, right? But this is really just, it's all a balancing act, you know what I mean? There is no clear always, oh, you're okay. Oh, you're all good. This just doesn't exist, right? And so that's why you never want to rely solely on, oh, it's fair use, I'm protected. Because it's tough, because you just don't know.
PeaceTones,